What's up, guys? It's your boy Pxxx here, and you already know what you clicked on. You already know what you're getting. It's your boy, the wee woo god, and I heard Airlifter went to 3. I had to start brewing. Did I brew something good? We're about to find out. Before we get into it, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check you guys out next time. Let's go down below. Alright guys, so we're going to get straight into this deck profile. I'll kind of go over my thought process on how I built the deck as I go through the deck profile. It is a 43 card main deck. It is what it is, but we got, what is this? 4 Airlifters? That's crazy. Anyways, Airlifter's a god card. Like I said, getting into the deck profile, so we got 4 Airlifters. We got the 2 Hydrants still. I thought about playing 3, but then again, like we have 4 Airlifters. I don't want to be having too many normal summons in my deck. Along with the 3, I'm still playing the 3 Impulse, which is technically 4 Impulse with the Rhoda, because a lot of people, you're gonna start noticing this is kind of like a breaker variant, as I tell in my thumbnail. The Impulse is also gonna be able to play on your opponent's turn, so it allows you to start building up your board while also having cards for the to break the board. So you got the 1 Impulse and the 1 Fire Engine. Obviously this is a gas engine right here. You guys already know from my past videos. I also got the 2 Preventer. I did go back up to the 2 Rescue Ace Turbulence, because now that we have Airlifter back into the game, we got more emergencies back into the game. Because we have more emergencies, we gotta have more monsters. I mean, we also got Malice into the game, so we're also worried about, you know, D-Shifter. So if my first Turbulence gets vanished and for some odd reason I can't get it back, I want to be able to have an advantage to get to another one, or just special it off of emergency if I really need to. Yeah, so this is it for the monster count. Like, I'll just get into the other Rescue Ace cards. And speaking of emergency, it was a huge emergency for me to do this deck profile because of Airlifter. So 3 emergencies for the game. We got 1 Alert, 1 Rescue Ace, 1 Contain, 1 Extinguish. It's all the standard. Please do not show me Reinforce. Please do not comment down below Reinforce, because you already know that card's just not it. And Tenpai's not in the game anymore. GG. Tenpai's out, and so we don't need to worry about Reinforce. Reinforces can go back to your bulk. As far as the last Rescue Ace card, I am playing the Rescue Ace HQ. Like I said, 4 Airlifters. HQ is mandatory now. Most of your combos are always gonna start off with an Airlifter, so you're gonna normal summon the Airlifter. If you already have the emergency, you're gonna normal summon the Airlifter. You can grab the alert if you have the Hydrant in your hand. If you're not gonna get the alert because you don't have Hydrant in your hand, or if you do have Hydrant in your hand and you don't want to normal summon the Hydrant, you want to normal summon the Airlifter, you're gonna Airlifter, grab the HQ, normal summon the Hydrant. Hydrant affects the search, and Hydrant can't be targeted anymore because you got Airlifter, and it's just, that's why we're playing HQ again now. Back then HQ was okay, and now it's not okay. Now it's good. So that's it for the Rescue Ace engine. I played with a bunch of different engines as I was going through it, and I still think the Dio Star Wanted Deception engine is the best engine. So speaking of, we got 2 Dio Stars. We got the 1 Subversion. Because we don't have original anymore, we need to search something off. And like I said, as you notice in the thumbnail, this is going to be a breaker variant. So we're going to play the 1 Subversion to start placing cards in the spell and trap zone. And one cool niche thing that I learned with this too is that it's any monster on the field. You can target a monster on the field, so it can even be your board. So one of the cool things too is that if you put Hydrant in the spell and trap zone, Hydrant counts as Rescue Ace Hydrant on the board. So when you're activating your trap cards, literally Contain and Extinguish are live because you have Hydrant on your board. And that's one of like the most broken things ever. I mean, you don't gain the effect of Hydrant to be able to activate the trap card the same turn, but you gain the effect of the second effect of the traps because you have Rescue Ace Hydrant on your board. It doesn't have to remain in the monster zone. Rescue Ace Hydrant is still Rescue Ace Hydrant on the board, even if it's in the spell and trap zone. So that's one of the cool niche things too that I learned. If I really wanted to get this off of my board, if my board was clogged and I just need to put it in my spell and trap zone for a little bit, you know, it's cool. And then you can later on you can send it with your Dio Star, and you'll find that you have other ways to send cards. So it's gonna be really neat. Like I said, so putting this to the side, I played a 2 Dio Star, 1 Subversion, I obviously played a 2 Deception, 1 Hollowed. I thought about playing the third one, but then the more I like played with my hands, it just was not working out. I didn't like multiple deceptions. It's not doing enough. Obviously, we don't have original anymore, so RIP to the original. This is how it was when Pxxxnda kind of, when it was Pxxxnda and Rescue Ace kind of being played. Pxxxnda is not an engine that's going to get you into the Rescue Ace. This is also not an engine that's going to get you into the Rescue Ace, but this is an engine that's going to get you to a negate. Now, I want to go back to the days where we had Baron and Rescue Ace kind of just piloting, and so now it's just Sylvia and Rescue Ace piloting together. Sylvia is kind of protecting your monsters as it goes, and so that's the point of this engine. And then we got the last 3 cards, which is the 3 Wanteds. Not much to say about that. Wanted's just a broken card. It gives you an extra draw too. You get an extra draw, you put it back, recycle, blah blah blah, same stuff. And so it's niche. It's only a 9 card engine right there. Like I said, I thought about the 3rd subversion. It just wasn't for me. I also thought about the Silhouette Rabbit combo and trying to get the traps, but then every time I set 4, I didn't really want to clog up that last zone, and you know, have like the last zone will probably be clogged by this, and if it's not clogged by Deception, it's going to be clogged by something else, and we're about to find out. So as for the breaker approach, I do play the 3 droplets. Like I said, you're going to have other ways to send cards on the field, and the droplet approach I really like against Malice decks or against Rizio decks, against their end boards, and then dropletting, it just makes everything so simple. And like I said, you have so many monsters. You even have like ways to get rid of your traps if you draw your traps in your hand. Impulse is always going to be setting up your board anyways. You're already going to have 2 monsters and follow-up in your hand. So it's just, it's nice. Like, Droplet's kind of free for you. Then in the end, you're going to end up recycling it with HQ anyway. So it's nice to kind of pilot it that way. You just got to manage your resources correctly. As far as the other breaker approach, I did go for Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse has been really broken in this beginning of this format. I talk like I've been playing this format for so long, but I've been testing for too long with Rizio, and I kind of understand how the format's shaping up already, especially with the Pxxxnda stuff now. Just broken. And Rescue Ace doesn't have a problem when it comes to breaking boards. Rescue Ace is really, really good at breaking boards. So if you guys know how to manage your resources with a Rescue Ace, then you will understand that like Rescue Ace can break any board they want, and it just makes it way easier if you got breakers. And all you got to do is OTK, which is obviously not hard if you guys understand that. I got the 3 Imperms and then 3 Impulse. Oh my god, this card's still broken. It sucks that you can't play it in Rizio, but this card is like still broken. As you can tell, like Malice is citing it. Jesus, it stops their ice, it stops their plug-in. It's just nuts, dude. And I like Dominus Impulse a lot. I wish I could play Dominus Purge, but we're playing fire cards, obviously. The Imperms is just standard approach. You can always Book of Eclipse, and then, or if they try to chain their detonator, bring it back their detonator with their plug-in, and then you just imperm their detonator, and then you just continue on breaking your board. It's insane. Same thing with Droplet. It's the same approach. Impulse is just supposed to stop your opponent during their turn. Even when you you let them resolve 1 effect to be able to search, and then you resolve your impulse them in Fire Engine, and dude, you're cooking. You're cooking. God, I'm fiending for this deck. So anyways, I went for the 12 approach, and for the breaker approach, I also count this as a breaker. Like there's other cards, like the whole deck is just breaking itself, breaking all boards. So let's just call this the board breaker deck. So I got no real opinions. I did think about playing Super Poly, and Super Poly, like here I got some shout outs right here pretty much. So I got Super Poly right here. I thought about it. It's not in my main deck. Like I said, the main deck is only 43 cards or 42 cards, I believe. Can't remember off the top of my head. But I did think about the Super Poly approach only because you're able to play the Mud Dragon, Garua, and then as far as like the Malice cards, you're able to go into Earth Golem Agnister. So if you go up against a Malice variant and then they have their Firewall, like IP, or if they have their Terahertz and then they bring back their White Binder, you can just Super Poly their board, and it's just insane because all this requires is a Cybers monster and a Link monster, and it's dumb. But anyways, another thing with Super Poly 2 that I learned is that if you go up against a Rizio matchup and you just like normal summon your Hydrant and they don't do anything, but you're going to activate their hydrant, and they're going to want to change their detonator. And if they have dual drive on board, you just change Super Poly, the hydrant, and the dual drive, and then you still resolve your hydrant. And even though your hydrant was going to go away anyways, now you just pretty much plus one and they negged one, and you're going to end up getting another body. So then you, I believe you go into, it's a different type, so you go into Mud Dragon. Now you're protecting all your cards because now they can't be targeted. So that's one of the cool things I learned with Super Poly against the Raizo match and against the Malice matchup. Like I said, Earth Golem, or if you just let them build their board, you can make the Mud Dragon a Garura because you just Poly their board for the same type, different type, same attribute, blah blah, all that's nonsense. So it's up to your discretion if you want to play the Super Poly. I'm not currently playing it right now, but if you just want to go in deep and start putting a higher count on your deck, or you just think you want to change up the Diabell Star engine and maybe play the Fiendsmith engine, that's also another good way to go. Fiendsmith engine with the Paradise, you're just adding another trap to your deck. That's the struggle with me wanting to do that. But yeah, that's it for that. I also did think about the 1-for-1, but like I said, I didn't want too many normal summons with the Rescue Ace hydrant, so I didn't do that. Going into the extra deck is another 15 cards. I did play the Anima. That's pretty standard. Anima, Dark, Hida. The Dark is really cool because even though I have my Sylvia, not a lot of people are playing Dark anymore for my Sylvia. But you can use the Dark against the Mallet deck and just start taking their stuff. And you can even leave it on your board too. That way they don't have a Malice card in their graveyard. Or you can start I don't know, you can just start using it to link climb. Same thing with the Hida, you can just start taking people's swords, or taking their, what is the other fire? Node? But yeah, you can just, against the Raizo matchup, or I don't think Snake Eyes would be played, but Hida's still relevant. You also got the Heat Soul. I thought about Heat Soul, I don't know, so I'm in and out about Heat Soul. Heat Soul's mostly like for drawing hand traps, but I also thought about, like, if I was forced to go first, and you know I got a couple board breakers on the ground, I wouldn't mind drawing a couple engine, or if I draw into my Dominus Impulse, that's cool too. Like, it's just different resources. It's just it's a last minute like decision with this card because I wasn't sure like what to fit in. I didn't know. Like I said, if you play the Super Poly variant, you won't be playing this. You'll play something else. As far as other cards, I played the IP. I played the SP. Those are pretty standard. I thought about playing the second SP. This could possibly be the second SP, honestly. We'll see how that goes from there. I'm still kind of brewing. I did play the Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf is pretty standard for the combo. You get your stuff back and your resources, which is really cool. One of the things you'll notice in this deck is I'm not playing Ash Blossom. That's one thing I also am considering. Because I'm playing Breakers, I don't want to be able to get Talanced. And that's the approach. Like, I'm going to get Talanced if I have the Impulse. But if I'm doing the Impulse, I'm already getting follow-up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And once they see my hand and they see that there's Breakers in it, they're going to be like, damn, this guy's going to break my board, or he's going to make a board. So he probably, like, I don't know, dude. It's going to be really confusing. But if I do end up playing the Ash Blossom Sunlight, was really good for that. And then a Nightmare Phoenix. I do play the Double Princess. Only because I'm afraid of Fiendsmith Cashier right now, and then the Cashier Malice. Like, I just don't want them to rip my Princess. Princess is really important in this deck. They'll probably end up ripping my SP, which is why I said the Heat Soul is probably going to be a second SP. But at this point right now, I'm just playing the 2 Princess. That way I can just make sure I resolve my OTK combo, which is the Atlantis, the Raging Phoenix. And then I also got the Ambler for the end board if I end up having to go first. And then I also got the Sylvia and the Rezilago, which is obviously just to get to Sylvia, which is the negate. Rezilago also searches the subversion, and like, I don't know, Rezilago just kind of connects everything together. And then after that, bounces back, gets you a negate, and then you can start your combos. So I didn't really make a side deck for this deck, but if you guys did want a side deck, just please let me know in the comments below. I can pretty much tell you. It's pretty simple when it comes to this format right now, especially when you're going up against Malice, or if you're going up against Raizo. Like, you're either going to be playing the D-Barriers, or you're either going to be playing the Artifact Lancia. You can side the Thrust. Like, there's just so many suggestions. You can also go a Bestial variant too in your side deck. I don't know. There's just so many things you can do, and I just didn't want to bring a side deck into this because some of you guys are probably going to be playing this at locals. Maybe at the next YCS, and I don't know. Let's see if we have another brood list by then. But hey, happy for 3 Airlifted to come back. I'm glad able to showcase you guys something and bring you guys something really quick. That way you guys can go to your locals and check it out. Breaker variant, I think it's pretty neat right now, especially how everybody's wanting to go first. And it's not no Sky Striker Malice, but Rescue Ace can wee woo its way through. So thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want to see any more Rescue Ace content, or if you guys are looking forward to any of my Rizio content or any suggestions, please let me know down in the comments below. Hey, see you guys next time.